hit record. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another webinar here at Black Belt Business. And today we're going to talk about business owner performance reviews. And we're going to actually take you through what you should be doing on your own performance review. And it's probably a tricky, or not a tricky, it's probably a hard subject to do because, a lot of us are normally self-critical of ourselves, or either that, we got a bit too much ego and think we do everything perfect. So, it's very hard to get a really good indication about ourselves and the performance that we're doing. So I'm going to take you through ways that you can actually do that on yourself, give you some ideas around those performance reviews, and we go from there. So before we get started, guys, just a couple of housekeeping. Welcome, good morning, saying hello. I love this cute little doggy. I'm using him quite a couple of times throughout the webinar. So welcome, everyone, and looking forward to sharing some information. As usual, before any of our webinars, I do like to give a very big warning. This webinar is designed to give you a kick in the butt. We take full responsibility for the positive changes to your business after implementation. So, guys, if you want to share, if you did implement, you did well, let us know. Now, guys, can you just do me a favor? Normally, I just ask good morning and where you're dialing in from. I'm going to do it a bit different. Guys, what's the best thing that's happened to you this week? If you can go put in the question section, what is the best thing that's happened to you this week? And making it to Friday is not allowed. So what's the best thing that's happened to you guys this week? Go whack it in the questions, and then we'll keep moving forward, guys. As you know, most of the webinars, I like full interaction. So if you do have any questions, or if you do, want to bring up anything, please let me know. Best things for this week. So great new team member. Excellent to hear, Donna. Excellent new structures in the office. That's absolutely brilliant. Well done, Kim. Anything else, guys? What's been the best thing about this week? I'll tell you now, for me, the best thing about this week is I've got 2 clients in the local business awards, and they're finalists. So I'm looking forward to being at the business awards Saturday night and watching them win, because I know both of them will win. So that's going to be absolutely brilliant. The other win that I've had this week, and I'm going to talk to you about it later, but I've been able to rehash my calendar to give even better support to clients and free me up way more time as well. So I'm going to share with you how I did that in the performance review I did on myself during the lot. Sandy's gotten a lot of big jobs done, so well done on getting that done, guys. All right, let's keep moving. Quite simply, if you want to minimize your screen, just click on the arrow, the orange arrow there, raising your hands around this section here. And if you want to type in any questions or ask me anything as we go through, please type here. As I mentioned, love interaction. Guys, this is just a tiny bit about me. I can see most people on the call know me, and so I won't go into too much. Let's put it this way. A couple of passions is martial arts and educating business owners to either be better or give them the ideas to actually help grow their business. So they're the 2 passions about me. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'd love to say I've still got my hair, but I can't do that. But you know what? Finally, and some of you guys know that the last 3 months have been flu, and a bit more flu, but finally I'm feeling I'm coming out of it. So the multitude of drugs that I got on my table are finally working. Yay! But just to give you a quick insight, recently, a couple of weeks ago, I had a guest from Mexico, a guest instructor. He's a 5th degree black belt from Mexico, and we were having a bit of fun, and I had all my kids around, and the kids are going, please hurt, sir, which is me being sir, and so we actually had a bit of fun. So, guys, this is just a quick little video about some of the fun that we get to do, and the kids, whoa, no, go play. There we go. So that's me having a bit of fun with the kids, and there's the kids go, oh, again. So bit of fun, and it's martial arts is just a great stress relief. But anyway, that's a bit about me. Let's get stuck into it, guys, because it's all about you today. It's got nothing to do about me. Now, a couple of things, guys. If you got your phones on, close Facebooks. Yes, I know I'm talking to you. Your emails, and if you've got pen and paper, it will probably help with this webinar. And there's a reason why. I want you to think, and I want you to write stuff down as we actually go. So if you can actually shut down stuff. Let's get a bit of concentration, because this does get a bit, I've got to now think about where I'm at with a couple of key areas in my business. So, one of the other biggest things I'm going to ask you to do is just leave your ego at the door. And what I mean by that is, if I ask you to rate how you're going in a certain area, be honest and be realistic about it. And I really want you to, I'm not undermining or selling your ability, but I want to know, is that exactly where you're at? So let's actually, get cracking. So turn those mobiles off. Now, let me give you a quick poll, guys, and I need you to be honest with this one. Can you just let me know, when is the last time you actually did a full review on yourself? And I'm talking a full review. We're not talking about waking up one morning going, you know what, I need to change my health habits or something like that. When was the last time you've actually done a full review on yourself, and what you're actually doing? So we have 57% of you guys that answered. Excellent. There should be a couple of you guys that said in the last month, because I know I've taken you through it, who's on the line. All right, couple of more minutes, guys. I've only got, 75%. Just let me know. Okay, so this is actually quite good. For some of you guys, it's been quite a while. So let's have a look at, not everyone's come in. I know we've got a few people on the line. They're probably checking emails. All right, let me just close this poll and just share the results with you. Quite simply, 15% of us have never done it. 57% has been a while, and 29% of us was last month. I know quite a few clients, I go through with them all the time about their reviews and how they're actually going. For the 57%, it's been a while. I think this is very timely, especially where we're at, leading up till Christmas and what plans you can be putting in for next year. And the 14% who said never, I'm looking forward to showing you how you can do easy reviews of yourself and your business and where you're at there. So, guys, let's get stuck into it. Won't bore you anything. Now, I'm going to give you a really quick question, and whether you want to answer this on the webinar or whether you want to actually, answer it on your bit of paper, whether you want to keep it to yourself. The question is, if your business could talk, your business was a living, breathing thing and was able to give you a performance review on itself, what would it say? How would it actually rate you? How would it actually, in general, how would it actually go, right? Joe Bloggs, who runs this company, I'm the business, I'm, ultimately in charge here. What would they actually say about you? What would they say about how you run the business? And I want you to have a think about that question, because it's a very interesting point. If you had to look down and look at how your business is being run by yourself, would it be happy? Would it not be happy? Would it be telling you that, you're too controlling? Would it be telling you that you're not giving it enough room to grow? You're not feeding it enough? Too much nurturing? Not enough nurturing? Not enough attention to detail? Too much attention to detail? Too much procrastination? Not enough strategy time? Not focused in the correct areas? Too much to blame? Complete denial of where things are at? Not easy to work with? Way too friendly? Would it fire you in the business? Would it praise you? And webinars are hard to do a bit of silence on. Ask the question, a bit of silence, because you'll be going, oh, is something wrong technically? Guys, and I want you to be honest about this point of call. And I thanks for some of the people who have actually put the questions in, and I'm not going to mention any names, but people have actually put in the word scattered. So that's actually a good indication of where you might be at. And this is the thing you've got to actually have a look at when doing your performance review. You've got to look for yourself. You've got to look above that and says, if I was a business, would I actually hire myself to do this job? Would you actually do that? You know, you've really got to ask yourself that question, guys. And, I'll be honest, how often should you be asking that question? I would say minimum once a month. At the beginning of every month, you need to sit there and actually say to yourself, if I was my business, how would I want to please my business, and what would I need to implement this month? And I'm going to take you through some of the questions that you should be asking yourself in the review, and what you should be actually looking at. So you've got to really actually be asking yourself from a business point of view, where are you actually at? What are you doing, and how are you actually, going about it? And I've been working with a couple of clients in the last couple of days, and yes, some of them are on the call, so I won't actually mention any names, about being, you know what, your business would have probably fired you months ago. Why are you not doing the stuff that it needs to actually get done? And these are the questions that you need to be asking yourself. Why isn't the stuff needing to be getting done? And it's very important to look at that from a business point of view and a business perspective point of view. So you've really got to actually have a look at that. And what you got to remember from a performance review, from an early age, we got performance managed quite a lot. Throughout school, we had school reports cards. We've got sports awards. There's so many things that were always performance reviewed on. Then we got employed, and if your bosses when you first got employed were doing the right things, you would have got performance managed. Then you would have been told if you're doing a good or bad job. You would have been rated in a few areas. But then all of a sudden we become business owners and we go, woohoo, freedom! We don't need to report to anyone anymore. We don't need to performance manage ourselves anymore because we can do that on everyone else. And reality is that's probably not the best of all things. Should we actually be getting grades, through school? Should we be able to do that? Don't get me started on a scholastic system and, talk about, kids turning up and they get an award. These days, we're not going to talk about that as being performance managed, but we are going to talk about, at the end of the day, we still need to know if we're doing a good job or not. And that's what we want to actually talk about, because there could be a lot of debate about what you define as performance managed and, getting A's, pass and fails, etc., etc. I failed physics. I will admit that. I had no comprehension on how physics works, and reality is I didn't want to know. So, we're not going to talk about that type of stuff. We're going to talk about what we're doing. And, when we got out of employment, we hadn't reported to anyone. We don't need to report to anyone. We've got no performance management for ourselves. But we do. And this is very important to actually have a look at. We do have performance management in our business, and there's two real things that you can performance manage yourself on that you probably haven't thought about this point, but the two main things that we performance manage ourselves on is one, how much money's in the bank account. Effectively, you can actually see where the business is at by seeing how much money is actually in the bank account or how much money is due in. And the other thing is how much time you have to yourself. And these are probably the two most tangible indicators on your business. And if you want to go back and have a look at your business now and go, right, I don't have much money in a bank account and I'm working 90 hours a week, you need to sort of go, well, is this a performance management tool that I probably need to change fairly quickly? So, there is performance management, but we don't normally look at it. We don't normally evaluate that. And there's reasons why there's probably no money in the bank account. And there's probably reasons why you're working 90 hours a week. But we've got to ask ourselves, why are we doing that, or why is the position where we're actually at? And most people don't ask those questions enough. They sit there and they struggle day in, day out. If you find you've got a lot of money in a bank account and not enough time, then that's also a performance management tool. Why? You've got to ask yourself why. Or if you've got plenty of time and you've got no money, why? Or if you've got plenty of time and money, then again, great performance management. But are you still working in a business, or are you getting yourself out? So you've really got to have a look at those two tangible results from a performance management point of view. Whereabouts is the amount of time you're working and money, and that's easiest ones that you can actually look at right now from a business point of view. There are a whole heap more, and we're going to go through those now and take you through those. So, guys, why is it okay that we can performance manage our team and it's so much easier to judge them and find out exactly where they're at, but it's so much harder to actually do ourselves? It's so easy to see flaws in others. It's so easy to judge everything else. And, one of the things that I've been working with quite a few people at the moment reality is, if you went out in your backyard, I'll guarantee there's quite a lot of weeds that probably need to be fixed before we go and judge others. And this is what we've actually got to do in performance management. And, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we discussed at the beginning about checking your egos at the door. It's time that we actually look at our own backyard before we can actually go and help others. So, how do we actually do that? What do we need to do? We need to look at ourselves, right? We're always critical of ourselves, or we always beat ourselves up too much when something goes wrong. We always land in a heap if something's not going right. We've got to look at ourselves, and then we've got to work out ways on how we can actually judge ourselves. And I'm going to take you through that pretty much right now. The first thing that you can do, guys, this is the first point I want to take you through on performance review, is do a reverse one. We always do performance reviews from management down to employee level. Well, why don't we actually go back up? And I'd just love to see a raise of hands. How many people have actually done a team survey before with their team? If I can get you to raise your hands, who's done a team survey and actually gone the other way up? Your employees are telling you if you're actually doing a good job or not. And some of you guys may or may not have team, but at the end of the day, you've got to also have a look at some of your customers, and your suppliers could be some of your team. And looking at the responses here, not many people have actually done. It has been a couple, and if you can just put down, if you can put down exactly what it's like, and Donna, I will ask you to do this. If you can just write what you got out of actually doing the team surveys, you're coming up to your third one. We're going to do your third one soon. Just put down and let the people know what it was actually like to get those ideas. And as Donna does that, the things you got to look at and the questions you need to ask, and these are very important questions. Now, guys, you can try and write all of these down quickly, or if you want, I can send you these questions to actually give to your team. For instance, the questions you should be asking: what does the company do well? What does the company not do well? If you were granted CEO status today, what are some of the things you would change straight away? What does your leader do good at? What does your leader not do so great at? How would you like to be rewarded? Are you clear on the company's goals and aims? How does the team work as a unit? So many great things come out of all of these questions that you actually ask your team all about. And what I normally do for clients is I do the team surveys for them, let the team know it's private and confidential, that it won't go back to the business owners in the format that they wrote it. What I do is I gather the information and I go, right, I'm definitely not passing that back to the business owner. Holy hell, I've never heard that language in my life before. And I've actually had team surveys that actually did that, and it was just such, I'll give you an example of one company. Again, I want to keep confidential about who it is, but they had 14 people in their team. When they actually did the team survey, 13 people came up with almost the identical responses, even though they didn't actually coordinate it as a group. That one person in the team had to go, and the business owners had protected that team member, thinking that they needed them in that team. Well, reality is the team surveys came out that this person was not a team player, was not very good, was manipulating everything, and being an absolute how do we call it? Pest might be a good word. So within a week of after doing the team surveys, we let the person go. And what happened to their business afterwards? Holy mackerel. it was just phenomenal. Everyone was so much more relaxed. The atmosphere became very, very good. And money went up. They started to get more sales, and we just got that out of the team review. The information we get from the team themselves about the ideas they got are incredible. So guys, you've got to have a look going the other way. Sandy, yes, I will send that. Now, what Donna got out of doing the team surveys is great ideas which she hadn't thought about before. Previously, it was intimidating. She actually, and it was. It's intimidating asking your team to actually give a performance on the company and yourself. But it was a pleasant surprise because the team had some great ideas and suggestions. And it was one of the best things that was put in from a team point of view. So one of the things you want to have a look at, guys, and one of the first points is ask your team about doing a performance review or a reverse performance review on yourselves. And again, I'm happy to send those questions out, guys. There's 10 great questions. And you're surprised that, I've got another example of a client who actually put in, what does do we actually, do you know the company's goals and rewards? And do we actually hit those goals and awards, goals and aims as a company? And the whole team came back with, no, I don't know what the company goals are, but if I did know what they were, it would be this, or they say, I think it's this. And then what they come back with was, no, we get nowhere near that. No, we don't get nowhere near that. No, we don't get nowhere near that. So immediately the company had a plan about what to put into place straight away regarding that. So guys, have a look at doing the reverse team surveys. Even if you're not with a team or you don't have a lot of team under you, you could actually still do it. If you're in a partnership role or a husband and wife role, it's sometimes good to do it. Be careful though; you might want someone like me in the middle as a intermediate person to actually negate the fights in between people. So I have seen team surveys end up quite in a nasty way, but reality is, guys, it's still good to actually put in place, especially with some really good clear questions. So I'll get them to you, no problems at all. So that's point number one. Point number two we need to look at. Do you have an actual job role? Do you yourself in your organization have a dedicated job role? And it's funny with this, and I'm working with a new client at the moment, and again, I'm not going to mention any names who it is, confidentiality, of course, that we're actually working on the role. And it's funny, if I sat him down, we spent an hour actually writing down the roles that he should be doing, and then spent another hour writing down all the roles that he is doing. And reality is we worked out that he is doing literally 3 to 4 times as much as the roles that he is doing. And the funny thing is, he's got a team of 27 people. And you guys are probably shaking your head going, what the hell? But, if you actually sat down and did this exercise yourself, are you clear on your actual job role? And let's just get a raise of hands, guys. Who's actually got a definitive job role for themselves? And it's defined, and it's like the job roles that you give your team. Hopefully, you give your job roles to team members. Have you got a definitive, clear job role? And do you actually look at that job role and tick it off to make sure you're doing it and come back and review it and making sure that everything you've done? And if something comes across your desk, and by the way, I've had one person raise their hand up only, do you actually, if you have something come through your desk and look at that, it says, but that's not part of my job role. And some of you guys are going to sit there and go, oh, but I'm only a one-man band. Well, yes and no, guys. You may be a one-man band, but you've got to look at that task that comes across your desk and go, is this a task that I need to be doing? Yes or no? Should I be wasting my time with that particular task? So you've really got to have a definitive job role, even if you're a one-man band, right up to whether you're a CEO of 500 people at the end of the day or 5,000 people. You need a definitive job roles, and you split those specific tasks up, and then you can performance manage yourself on how well you do those particular job roles. So if you clearly define your job role in the organization. Now, working with this client, it was really funny how he sat there and gone, no wonder I've got no time. No wonder I feel like I'm running around in circles. No wonder I'm not, getting anything done. And I've turned around and gone, right, you employ people to be the operations manager. You employ people to do that. If those tasks come through, why are you talking to customers? Why are you sitting down and actually talking to a customer when they're not happy about something? the operation manager needs to learn how to deal with that. You're going to go in, have half the information, turn around and sit there and go, hey, I should have, I'll give you this anyway just to keep you happy. But reality is you've only got half the information to make the decision on. Let the team do their job. Let the team do their job role so you can get on with yours. And then go back to your job role and tick it off. Make sure it's 100% clear. I'm going to share something that I did. I mentioned this before. I'm going to share something to you with what I did on Monday with my team. And, it just worked out brilliantly. And, the time that I'm going to save is just incredible. And I'm going to provide better customer support for my clients. And I'm going to share with you what I did there near the end so you can see what we're actually doing. So, guys, get a job role in place. Sit down for an hour and really understand what your role is. This is all part of the review. You're going to review your job role. You're going to make sure that you're doing what you should be actually doing and removing the stuff you shouldn't be doing. So, guys, let's keep moving on. Do you have your own KPIs or reporting in your business for yourself? We're not just talking about, right, here's our sales targets, it needs to be this, but what are your KPIs? Are you monitoring KPIs such as an increase in net profit margin? Are you monitoring KPIs in your business for yourself about what you're doing? For instance, if I turn around and says, right, you've got to reduce your working hours by 1 hour every week from this point forward, are you putting in KPIs like that to actually monitor what's happening? These are the things that you can be looking at. Have you got KPIs in place where it actually goes, right, I've given gratitude to one of my team members this week, for instance, and then tick off those actual KPIs that you're actually working on. It's just amazing on how much you can do if you have a dedicated list of, say, 10 or 11 things that you should be doing every single week from a KPI perspective and ticking them off every week. It's amazing what you can actually get and what actually happens there. You've got to have a look. And, that's a great point, Kim. You've got a plan that you actually work to. I think that's fantastic. And, everyone should be working towards a plan in their business. Brilliant. But you've also got to have a look at certain KPIs about your own performance, about what you're actually doing. And you know what? Sometimes it's really funny. I work with a lot of different clients with a lot of different personalities. I've got a particular client on how many times he gets angry as a KPI, how many times he goes, oh, I'm so frustrated, and goes yells at his team, because the team survey's brought up that he actually yells quite a lot for the slightest of all things. So we've actually got a KPI in place to count how many times he gets angry. And then he has to actually note what he actually did about it and why is he doing that. And it's been I've been with the client for about 3 years now. It's amazing. In the last 6 months, I haven't even had to ask him about the KPI because he just doesn't get angry anymore. So you've got to actually think about stuff in your business that you know that you are doing. For instance, how many times do you get distracted? That could be an actual KPI. How many times do you actually say you're going to do something in that week, but you don't actually get it done? That is a great KPI. This is all about the stuff that you actually need to do. And KPIs are pointless if you don't have any consequences. If you've got no consequences at all, guys, what's the point of putting a KPI in? You've got to give yourself those consequences, and it's not enough to sit there and say, oh, well, I didn't hit that KPI, I'll just make sure I get it next week. It's just like sales targets. Well, I didn't hit my sales targets this month, I'll just make sure I get it next month. No, because that's money out of your bank account. You have to increase your sales next month by the amount you missed last month. So it's things like that you've really got to have a look at from a reporting or a KPI point of view. And guys, there are so many KPIs that you can be doing, but you've got to have a look at what's going to be beneficial for you. And the best way that I like to put in a KPI is, what is your biggest challenges that you're currently having at the moment? Work out what those challenges are, and then work out why those challenges are there, and then put the KPIs based around those challenges. And you should be able to easily get 5 straight away with some of the challenges that you're dealing with on the KPIs on why you're actually having those challenges. And then you could look at KPIs around yourself about how you manage team, your leadership qualities, and all of that type of stuff. And you should be able to get at least another 5 by doing that, as you are as a team player and all of that type of stuff. You don't make these complex. Please do not sit there and spend hours doing your KPIs. A KPI should be done in a quick flick and tick type of situation, especially about performance review on yourself, whether you actually did or didn't do something. So definitely have a look at that, guys, um, about that. So, Kim, you just asked, how did we define what KPIs we should work on? Does that answer that question? I would start with the biggest challenges that you have, or go back to that original question we asked. If you were your business and your business was a living entity and it looked down on you, would it sack you? And if it would, why would it sack you? What are the points that it would actually sack you on? And there's some perfect KPIs that you could actually be putting into place for that. That's exactly. So, all right. So, guys, have a look at that. Raise your hands, guys. You guys enjoying so far? I just want to get a state of a nation where you're at. Awesome, good stuff. Excellent. I can notice some people don't know how to use the hands, so that's okay. I'm going to imagine everyone's getting some really good information. Now, here is the points that we need to look at. Now, these are the elements that a business owner should be reviewing. And again, I think doing a full review on a monthly basis is probably too much. I think a quarterly review is probably ideal on the points that we're actually going to go through. Now, sometimes it's hard to build a 90-day plan. And we do 90-day planning. I've always done roughly a 90-day plan. For some clients, it's only 6 weeks because they are scattered. So we only focus on 6 weeks. But anywhere between 6 weeks and 9 weeks. And these reviews are brilliant to actually set your next plan in place. And the elements that we're going to go through on these business is some really good things for you to think about on how to build your 90-day plan by reviewing yourself as a business owner. So, again, if you want all of these questions, I'm more than happy to send them to you. But, I really want you to think about the elements that I'm talking about here and give yourself some ratings on where you're at the moment as we're doing this, because it's now time to have a look. So some of the things that you need to have a look at is the past. And then we're not talking about, going back 2 years, or we're not talking about going back 10 years. We're talking about go back 3 to 6 months, and ask yourself these questions. Has the past year been good, bad, satisfactory, or otherwise for the business? And why? Why has it been good? Why has it been bad? Why has it been satisfactory? Right? What has the owner or the general manager or, the business itself, most important achievements of the past year? What have been the good achievements that have actually come out? And where has the owner let the business down in the past year and why? Right? These are really good questions to be asking. And remember, you're sitting here, you got to imagine, you're sitting in a room, your business is sitting on the other side of the desk, and they may or may not be happy with you, and they're the ones asking this question. So you've got to answer like you're reporting back to the business. And these are great questions to ask, especially the one that has the business let you down in the past year. Why? Why has the business owner let the business down? What is it that they're not doing? And immediately you can actually start building an easy 90-day plan on some of the tasks that you should be doing and where you've actually let the business down. So some really, really good questions there about the past. Now, the next thing is the business owner's attitude or your attitude. Describe the owner's attitude towards the business. I.e., did they walk in whistling and, having a great day? I don't know if some of my clients seen the Black Belt Business Community page that I've got for clients with that guy who was singing the Bon Jovi song at the ballpark. That was phenomenal. Do you walk in dancing away when you walk into the business? Or do you walk in head down saying, I don't really want to be here? What has been the attitude towards the business? What type of attitude do you need to have for the business? Very important questions. Do you need to be passionate? Do you need to be firmer? Do you need to have a different type of attitude? Do you think the business owner is passionate about the business? What does the business owner need to do to increase their passion for their business? Does the owner beat themselves up too much over trivial matters? And if so, what do those matters and how can I overcome these in the future? So, have a look at your attitude, guys, from a performance review perspective and answer these questions honestly. Remember, I asked to check the ego at the door. You've got to ask these questions and say, right, is this person got the right attitude? Every time, I won't ask this, but most of you guys have um, Kim, I'll answer the consequences one near the end if that's okay. Sorry, someone just asked a question. One of the things that when you actually employ a team, and a lot of clients know when I speak to them, when you employ a team member, I always say 80% attitude, 20% skills, because skills can be taught to most people if they're willing to learn. I'm going to use inverted commas, if they're willing to learn. The attitude is the essence, right? You can have the best skills in the world and a really bad attitude, and the business is going to work out crap. So you've got to have a look at your attitude as well. What is your attitude towards your business? Do you hate going to the business every day? Do you love what you do? Is it a means to an end? What is it that gets you excited about the business? What is it that's not? Are you passionate? How do you get your passion back? How do you reignite yourself? These are all the questions that a business should be asking you to review as a business owner. And these are the stuff you look at your team. If your team member's not passionate about the business, you can see that straight away. It will reflect in how they actually hold themselves and as you work with them. So, you've got to ask these questions yourself from a business point of view. So, very important we do that. Now, the next one, your time management. You've got to have a look at this element. Rate yourself on your time management ability. So if 0 was absolutely no time management whatsoever, 10, I'm amazing with time management, how would you rate yourself in your time management? What number would you actually put it down? I'm interested, guys. Go and put a number in there for me in the questions box. How would you rate your time management? And don't worry, I'm not going to call out names on this one. I'll keep these ones confidential. Yeah, okay. So we got some really good honest answers here. 7, 3, 4, fantastic. 4, great. So reality is it important to have good time management in your business? And then you've got to ask yourself this question: how could the business owner be more productive or improve their time management? If the business was sitting there, they might sit the business, or if you're sitting there, think about this: you're talking to an employee, and their time management's not good. What would you actually do to them? What would you say about their time management? How would you review it? And then what would you ask them to go and do? But you've got to now do that for yourself. You've got to imagine the business is asking you that, and you've got to do exactly what you actually would normally suggest to an employee. Do you need to go on a time management course? Do you actually need to, define your roles again and not do anything there? Do you need to learn how to delegate better? These are some things that you've really got to, ask yourself that question. And by the way, the highest number came up as 8.75. Don't forget the 7.75 because that's awesome, that one. But, rate yourself on your time management. Give yourself a performance review on that and really ask yourself what you need to do regarding your time. I mentioned that client that I'm working with who had, 3 times as many tasks that he's doing versus what he should be doing on the list. And he's got no time at all. He left for work at 6 a.m. in the morning. He's not getting home until 9 o'clock at night. That's just, why are you doing that? You may be passionate about the business, but reality is, why do you actually do that? Ask yourself that. Now you've got to also ask yourself about your plan. Does the business owner follow a plan? Has the business owner communicated that plan to the team? Has the business owner, written it down, put it up on the wall and follows it religiously week by week? Is there any part of the planning that the business owner needs to improve on? Is the business owner strangling the business? How do they follow their job role? Is this all part of your plan and strategic planning? There's also the job description stuff. Does the business owner go outside of their job description regularly and create additional unnecessary work for themselves? Right? Ask yourself to rate yourself on those points. Be very, very clear on those. Are you following a plan? Do you follow your job descriptions? And, are you actually strangling? Are you the reason why the business isn't growing as what it needs to be? I've always always come back to that point. And some of you guys may have heard this point, but I walked into a client who just would never get anything done during the day, always got everything done at night, found out he was being interrupted every 2.5 minutes from his team. And you know what the interruptions were? Oh, do we have this in stock? How much should I sell this item for? How much do that? And you guys are going to be sitting there going, well, that's crazy. It's easy to put that in place. But, guys, again, if everyone's got their own weeds in their backyard that probably need to be pulled out before helping others pull out their own. So you've got to really have a look. And what we did here is we worked out that the interruptions was around pricing and around stock levels. We're going, you know what? Get them to go and find out about the stock themselves and let them sell their things. Oh no, the team are going to undersell me. The opposite. When we actually gave them the authority to sell it for prices, they were afraid to undersell it. So reality is they're selling it for roughly 20 to 30% more. What do you reckon happened to their bottom line at the end of the month? The bottom line was brilliant. It was like, oh my, So are you strangling the business? So you've got to really have a look at that point of view, because sometimes we do. So that's all about planning. The next one, we all love marketing. Where's my marketers in the room? Who loves going out there and marketing? How would you rate your marketing out of 10? 10 being, of course, exceptional, 1 or 0 being very poor. What do you believe needs to be done to increase your marketing rating? What should be the next marketing activities implemented for the business owner, and what needs to be put in place, and what is going to stop the business owner from implementing these marketing strategies? So guys, go and rack your rating in the questions in there. What is your rating for marketing? I've already got an 8.5 there, and I totally agree with that person who wrote 8.5. I'd probably more put them at 9. Why wouldn't you give yourselves a 10? Yeah, reality is I think we can all improve on it, including myself. What do you rate your marketing at? We've got 5s, we've got 6.5s, a 2, a 7, and exactly, there's always room for improvement. A 3, So again, this is what you've got to look at, and why is it like that? If you're not a great marketer, I highly suggest getting someone to actually help you with it, or getting some ideas to actually be implemented. So these are the things we need to do on marketing. And again, another element of business is your sales. How would you rate your sales in the organization? What do you believe needs to be done to increase your sales rating? What other sales strategies could be implemented for future sales and sales conversions? And of course, what is going to stop you from putting these in place? And you can see by writing down all of these elements and getting all of these ideas and being realistic about where you're at, you can build some really powerful plans. And I mean really powerful plans just based on the information we're going through here. So you've really got to have a look at where you're at. And again, guys, if you want to, you can give me a rating on sales. I'll leave that up to you. I won't go through them. But, look at some of the things that you could be doing with your sales. Do you track your sales? Do you have a database in place? Are you actually touching your customers on a regular basis? Are you following up quotes? If you had to give a performance review and look at your sales task and then actually allocate each of the points, whether you're doing good or bad on each of the sales areas. And guys, I don't think there's a lot to sales. That's just me personally. I think you need a good database in place. You need a good touch point with your customers in place. You need a good follow-up system in place. And you need a good sales process. Those 4 things are really all you need in business to be a sales awesome salesperson. You don't need much more than that. And if you've got an emailing system for your sales process, then make sure the emailing system is brilliant. For instance, if you've got an online store here, when you pack an order, send an email to say, hey guys, we've just had a fanfare with your order being packed, and we all got around and applauded it. And then we organized a band to actually send the parcel off. So you should receive it shortly, and here's your consignment note number. Looking forward to hearing that you got your parcel and you're enjoying what you do. If you've got a business that relies on email stuff, you've got to make the emails like that. And these are the things that you could probably improve on and go from there. So have a think about some of the really, really cool things that you could be doing from a sales point of view, and how easy it is to go and implement, and what you can do implementing it. And there's a really good point here about fear of rejection. Um, Actually, there's some really good points here, guys, and I want you to be careful about these points and what you tell yourself. Having a fear of rejection in sales, you know what, guys? I don't get me started on that. But reality is, if you've ever dated before, you've probably been turned down. You may not have, lucky you, but you may have been turned down. That's the rejection. So you never ask anyone out again. But reality is, they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to the offer. They're never ever saying to no to you. They're never ever saying no to you personally. They're always saying no to the offer. And I want you to have a look. How many times have you said no to someone? You've got to really have a look at that. So you're doing just the same thing at the end of the day. And do you see yourself as an arsehole for saying no to someone? Well, no. Oh, did I just swear on this call? Sorry. But let's face reality, guys. At the end of the day, it's okay to say no. And it's also okay to be given the no. So, with that fear of rejection, go and get a whole heap of no's. You'll get used to them, and then off you go from there. You'll be a better salesperson for doing that. And I've got a point here on par with industry average. Guys, we don't want to be average. If you're doing a performance review, you don't want your team to be average. You want your team to be the best. Never actually settle for average. Always strive for that next point. So if your average is a conversion of 40%, you go and make your conversion 55. So never, never, ever settle on average. Very important. Always strive for the best. Benchmarking is a great tool, but I think some accountants take benchmarking too far to sit there and go, you know what, it's okay for you to be average. No, it's not. Really improve, really stretch yourself. Oops, way too many. Now, next one, operations. You should be asking yourself about your operations. How is the customer service level for your organization? Are you giving too much service for the money that you're actually providing? That's an interesting question, guys. Are you giving too much service away for the money that you're actually charging? Don't give 5-star rates or 5-star service for 2-star rates, dollar values. It's going to kill your business fairly quickly. Find a balance there. Can the business improve that customer service level? And if so, what do you need to do to increase it? Has the business owner got the operations working smoothly with very little hiccups? Do your products or services go out when they need to? Are they in a timely manner? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself, whether it's a service or a product. What would be the ideal customer service or operations experience for a customer, and is it in this business at the moment? Would that experience be feasible in this business? And you've got to think about costs, returns, ability, staffing levels to implement. So you've really got to have a look at where you're actually looking at your customer service points of view. So, guys, you've got to ask yourself those questions. Are your operations running with little hiccups? I'm watching a couple of clients at the moment who their operations, they're great salespeople, they're great marketers, but their operations really let them down. So we're working heavily on getting these processes in place to actually make sure that they can deliver the goods quite easily. Finance and admin. Here's some things you need to look at. Are you fully aware of the cash position of the business? And we're talking future cash position as well. What needs to happen to be actually managing the business owner for them to be managing the cash better? What KPIs should be needing to be put in place? Do you actually follow performance drivers of the business? Are you actually looking at that on a weekly to fortnightly basis? Not monthly, not at the end of the year when your accountant tells you, you didn't do too good that year, on a weekly or fortnightly basis. Do you manage your paperwork better? Do you actually handle paperwork good? Again, you've got to look at this from a finance and admin point of view when you're doing your review on yourself. Systems. Do you have good systems in place? Are you working autonomously? Does the systems actually work? What are the major systems that the business owners need to be implemented in the business over the next 3 to 6 months? Why is it important for these to be implemented? What is going to stop you from implementing these systems at the end of the day? And this goes back to having a good database, having a good sales process, having a good operationals process, having a good team process, having a good hiring process. These are all so critical for a business to use, whether you're a one-man band or you've got 80 people in the organization. So really give yourself a good review on that. And guys, before I start the last element of business, I want you guys to understand something about business. You're up here, you're the business owner, and reality is, the business is over here. The business is going to, be there, and you've got your team. you may have your team, you may be a one-man band, or you've got your customers and suppliers. And here is the biggest challenge that we find, that the business, if something goes wrong with the business, it relies on the business owner to fix it. If the customer or suppliers has a problem, it relies on the business owner to fix it. If the team have a problem, they rely on the business owner to fix it. Reality is, guys, this is why we get so overwhelmed in business. This is why we, don't get what we need to done. Ideally, the business model that you've got to be focusing on, it's, tried and tested year after year, centuries after centuries. The business owner needs to focus more on the team focus on the customers and suppliers. Remember I talked about that time management, where the business owner would always get involved with the customers and suppliers, always get involved. Reality is, leave the team out of the loop. The business owner stays in the business. You control freak, and I won't ask you to put your hand in if you're a control freak here, because I'm going to say, stop it. Stop being a control freak. Let the business run. It's its own entity. It's its own thing. The customers and suppliers looks after the business, and the business looks after the business owner. How do you actually look after the team? You put the 4 T's in place. You give them the tools to do their job. You give them the training to do their job. You give them the targets or KPIs to do their jobs, and you give them the trust. If you don't trust your team, get rid of them. Seriously, get rid of them, or train them up. The team looks after the customers by sales, by providing, by, ordering the products, all of that type of stuff. The customers and suppliers and all of that provide the business with products for the suppliers, and from a customer's revenue and referrals. And then the business provides the business owner with 2 tangible results, which is what we talked about first: dollars and time. Put this up on your wall, draw it up, put it up on your wall, and every time a task comes across your desk, ask if you're actually running in this cycle. Does your team need to sort the customer out, or do you need to sort the team out? And are you being a business owner, or are you just being a worker in the business like everyone else? So, guys, very, very good points to have a look at, which leaves you to the last element of business that I want to take you through, is your team. What is the business owner's best leadership qualities? What qualities of leadership does the business owner need to improve on? Does the business owner have challenges with the team in terms of accountability, discipline, and follow through? If so, what else needs to happen to improve these skills? I work with clients who just won't sack bad eggs in their companies because they feel bad because they've got to help them out. Oh, this person won't get another job, and if they don't get another job, I'm going to feel bad because you know where I'm getting at, guys. You've got to implement a FIFO method in the organization. And no, it's not first in, first out. FIFO is either fit in, or I'll leave the rest up to you to answer that. Definitely not going there. Or message me, and I might put it in the message if you don't understand what the last FO is. Anyway, getting back to it, has the business owner articulated the goals to the entire team, their budgets, their KPIs, the culture in the organization, the job descriptions, and all the other areas in the business? And if there were 3 things that the business owners need to work on with the team, what would they be? So all of these questions in your performance review, when you're doing this on yourself from a business aspect, will really get to see, what's actually happening with your team. But the best thing you could do is a team survey. Do a reverse performance management. Get your team to actually talk about how your leadership skills are and what they can do to improve. Make sure you let them understand there's no repercussions. It's no good sitting there saying, I think my boss is an asshole, and they actually reply back on that, and you sit there and go, I'm going to hate that team member anymore. No, you've got to nurture that. You've got to understand why they think that. So you've got to give them the capabilities of actually being able to answer correctly. And again, if you want me, guys, to actually send out a team survey, give me your team's email addresses. I'll do it for you, and I'll actually say it's independent. Any answers will be kept confidential. You can reply on anything, and I'll actually help you put the stuff in place you need to if you want me to. So I can actually do that from an independent point of view, guys, if you need me to. So that will work a treat. So, guys, performance reviews on yourself, I think it's hypercritical. When should you be doing it? If you haven't done it in a while, I honestly believe you should start doing it over the next month. Why? Because this will build your plan for next year. It's 8 weeks to Christmas. Probably less than that. It's probably 7. Who knows? It's 8 or 7 weeks till Christmas. Now's a good time to actually start asking yourself these questions. I know most people are busy out there. I understand that, but reality is just because you're busy doesn't mean you're going well. So it's very important to actually start asking yourself these and build a good plan from it, and be clear about what you actually want to achieve and be realistic. Don't sit there and go, I want to fix all of these in the next 3 months. Choose the most important stuff that you can do and then get it done that way. Now, one of the things that I did on Monday, and I kept talking to you about what I did, I actually had the whiteboard out with my team. We got in here for the whole day, and no, they didn't give me an applaud afterwards. That's why I put this picture up, because I made myself feel good that at least people were applauding me. And I've sat down and I've gone, right, what are the bottlenecks in the business? What is the business all about? What do we actually deliver as products? What do you think our customers actually think about us? And with the team, I just sat down there and actually wrote out exactly my 4 areas of business. And I got 4 businesses that I'm, effectively, actively in. And each business I just went through and gone, right, this is your role, this is your role, this is your role, this is my role, this is my role. If there's anything outside of these, we're not going to worry about. Is there anything else that we can think of that we should be doing? And I've worked out, looking at my diary, that I'm doing a whole heap of stuff that I just shouldn't be doing. I haven't got set times throughout the month where I'm not dealing with, where I'm just booking in people ad hocly just for the sake of a coffee meeting, for instance, and catching up with them. So yes, I let my own diary slip away. So what I've done is developed a full month worth of one-to-one clients are these days. My Path to Business Mastery clients are these days. My emails are going to be these set times. These are the times I'm going to have off. These are the times I'm going to have my admin for the whole month. And I've just set November out for that. And I looked at that and I've gone, damn, I've got a lot of holes in my diary, which is brilliant, because it means I can either do one of two things. I can relax, or I can actually make sales appointments where I've got a hole where there's a one-to-one appointment. And I know you've heard me talk about default diaries before, but this was just clearing out the clutter. This was decluttering the whole businesses. We decluttered the whole businesses and rebuilt them again on the tasks that were important that we actually need to get done. And if there's anything outside that, we're not even going to contemplate it. So it's a good thing that you can sit down and declutter your whole business. And this is really good that you can do on a performance review. So, we've built a whole structure in, a day around 4 different businesses and set everyone's time up to work brilliantly. My admin lady, she has got a diary now that she absolutely loves, and she knows exactly what she's got to do every day. And it's absolutely brilliant. And then off that, and we've already started doing that, each of the tasks that she doesn't know how to do in a diary, I'm doing video recordings on how to actually do this stuff. How does she process a Hapkido student when they sign up with me? How do you process a new client when they sign up to me? Or Black Belt Business, sorry. So reality is, I actually videotaped all of them, and this webinar, guess what? She did the whole lot. All I had to do this morning was come and click a button, turn it on. I'm now talking to you guys. That's all I had to do, because this person actually, and thank you, Ash, I really appreciate it. She actually came in and I recorded how to do a webinar, how to market it, how to set it up, and it was all done. So these are the things you got to look at. Systems, declutter, and allocate your time correctly. And you know what, guys? You're going to have a business that's fantastic. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's time for you guys to go and implement this. I'll get to a couple of things in a minute. Guys, on the 12th of November, I'm just letting you know we do have a video workshop. So if you want to learn how to actually record procedures online on your computer or with a videotape, how to quickly edit that and actually have it as a resource for the rest of your time in business until you need to change that. The 12th of November, I know a few people on the line have actually come to this. It is in Brisbane, unfortunately, at the moment. But guys, it is so worth it. $99, you can come along. And I've ran this for about 100 people now, and it's phenomenal. I've actually got quite a few people coming back to redo it again. So if you want to learn how to actually save your time by putting videos in place, let us know, guys. I'm more than happy to actually show you. It's mostly free these days with the technology that we've got to have some awesome videos. Ooh, is everyone still there? Woohoo! What just happened to my computer? Okay, can you raise your hands, guys? Just let me know you're still there. Sorry, my computer screen just went everywhere. All right, so you're back. Cool. All right, so guys, 12th of November, I do need to know by next Wednesday if you are coming or not, because I need to get the RSVPs, I need to get the work manuals, workbooks done. It will be well worth your time. So, guys, before you go, as usual, number one thing you got from today, please don't go yet. Please fill in the questions. What did you get out of today? Okay, so what I said, Kim, I said systems, declutter, and clearing up your time are the best things that you can be doing at the moment, because you actually just focus on what you should be doing. And it's really, imagine you stuck to a really good plan of time, and do this stuff and do the stuff you should be doing, like marketing, like working with your team, and you have certain times to do it. It's just going to make your life easy and get rid of all the other stuff. You also, so let me just quickly here. Okay, thanks, Jocelyn, you're there. Setting my own business KPIs separate from those of the business. I think that's a really good thing to do. How much time you're working, how much time you're not working, how many times you get distracted. Great KPIs to be put in place. Write more stuff down to get all this overwhelmed stuff out of your head. Absolutely. Declutter the process in the calendar. Definitely, the default diary is a great thing you should be doing. Absolutely brilliant. And the declutter, think about outsourcing to free up more time and better concentrates. Outsourcing is great, guys. I've got like 5 outsourcers working for me at the moment. One's on the line at the moment, Lisa over in the US. Hi. She's absolutely brilliant. I just send her stuff, she gets it done. She transposes all my videos. She helps me do the website stuff. It's just so easy to actually get it done and have a really good team around you, and it doesn't cost the earth. Now she's smiling. So guys, consequences, we did ask the questions about consequences. Look, guys, I'm going to leave that up to you. I know the consequences that I actually have in place for myself, and it's silly stuff like wax the back, which isn't pleasant, trust me. You can actually have consequences like what else could you have? That you've actually got to do an ice bucket challenge. You got to be realistic. Reality is it's so easy for you not to have any accountability and no consequences. But at the end of the day, I think the best thing you can do, here's another one. You'll go give $1,000 to charity as a good consequence if you actually don't do something that you say you're going to do. It's amazing what happened, money consequences on what happened. So, set your consequences out, how you need to set them out. Go without chocolate, a couple of people. Exactly. You're a business owner, guys. You should be building a business. So go and focus on that, and go without chocolate maybe. I'll leave that up to you guys about what you do. I've worked out what Coke does to your body system, and I haven't had a Coke since, actually. It's been about 3 weeks. So that's a good thing. Anyway, thank you, guys. If you really enjoyed the webinar, please go onto Facebook. Let people know you enjoyed it. Raise your hands if you join it. Give me a round of applause if you enjoyed it by just clicking a button fast. Off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. Woohoo! Getting a few round of applause. Wah! All right, guys, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. If you missed any of that, I will get the recording to you by Monday. Guess what? I'm going to get Ash to do it because she knows how to get it all up. So have a great weekend, everyone. Keep safe. And if you need anything and you want to come to the video workshop, let me know. It will be well worth your time. I can guarantee it. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.